Gotta kick off the show here.
We're agreeing.
So cleaned up.
Going on, Bill's Mafia. Welcome to the Mafia Cast. I'm your host, Papa Ron, with, of course, Mike and Casey. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, guys?
Just watching that video, thinking back, my favorite part of that is when the guy is bobbing up and down with your head, and someone chimed in and went, "Hey, I know him," and we were like, "You most likely do not know him. Trust me."
I think he's talking about the guy holding the sign. The guy actually holding it. We had some good times this year.
Papa Ron was definitely the second most famous person in that stadium behind Josh Allen.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go there. The home opener. That's the plan, anyways. And I expect at least 5 people to be like, "Hey, I know you." And if they don't, then this is all a fail.
Oh, yeah, they will. Trust me.
6.
At least 6.
At least 6. Okay, we'll go with that. Casey, how was the opening round of the golf, the Masters? I know you're a big golf guy.
Tiger was a little disappointing. He didn't start as well as he finished. I mean, he ended with a bogey. He's 2 over right now. He would make the cut going into the weekend, but it all depends on what happens tomorrow. Friday and Saturday are big moving days, so it'll be exciting. Brooks Koepka, a live golf guy. Everybody's rooting against him with John Rahm up there, tied with him at the lead. So go Rahm, screw Brooks, go Tiger.
I thought about you today. Somebody put up a picture of Patrick Mahomes with his personal trainer or whatever. And it was like, Patrick Mahomes is getting, working out. What's Josh Allen doing? Sitting around playing golf. And it was on the Bills Facebook site too. I was like, really? Come on. First of all, you don't think Mahomes is out there playing around and having some fun too? This is their guys' off season. Come some slack. I mean, good grief.
Secondly, who would turn down the opportunity to play PGA 2K23 in the Augusta National Clubhouse? I mean, I would do a lot of things to be given that opportunity. So you that's not something you turn down.
Hey, and just because you don't see it doesn't mean it isn't happening behind the scenes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be on it.
I mean, Allen isn't a big social media guy. He's every now and then I'll see him post something on Twitter, but
picture of him at the airport.
Yeah. That's a pretty cool story, actually.
That's funny, yeah.
So while Casey's watching golf, I was just sitting here playing some Madden. I have to tell you, this morning I was sitting here and I was on the phone with my mom. And my oldest stepson comes barreling out of his room. He's like, Ronnie, there's a glitch. You got to get on Madden right now. I'm like, oh, okay. He's just freaking out. And the glitch was basically you buy this pack and then you can quick sell it for more than what you paid for it. So all right. So I did that, but he was funny. He tripped out of his room. I mean, I went from 500,000 training points to almost 4 million training points doing that little glitch. So yeah, it was worth it.
There you go.
It sounds like we were both starting really hard for the draft.
Yeah,
that's all I'm hearing. We're going really hard.
So focused on the draft. I mean, I got to get on Madden and download the rosters that everybody creates on this incoming rookie class. That's how I scout people. Is how they're doing on Madden, right?
I got to be honest. That's how it starts during the season for me.
Hate that.
Yeah. So, speaking of scouting, so we came across somebody else's tiers for the rookie class, the incoming rookie class. Not all the receivers, but the top 12 or so. And I kind of wanted to talk with you guys about that and see what you all think about it. I know we were kind of going back and forth earlier this week about one in particular player, Jordan Addison. I wasn't a big fan of initially with the size, and we have a lot of guys on this team. I don't say a lot anymore, I guess, but I remember Brandon Bean making a comment about we don't need redundant talent, and the next day McKenzie was gone, right? And that's kind of the way I looked at Jordan Addison. It's kind of the way I look at a lot of these guys. Zay Flowers, they're all small receivers. But if you think about it, that's kind of where this league is going, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not there's not a big, tall, fast guy on one side. There's not your standard X receiver on the other, and then your standard slot. All these guys are all moving around to all these different positions to create mismatches. So it doesn't really make sense. It's kind of like the way the NBA is going to positionless basketball. Nobody has a set position anymore. Everybody's kind of interchangeable, all depending on what the game's calling for and where you think you can get the mismatches.
Well, it's nice to have a tall guy that's going to go up and get it, play physical. I mean, if you're bombing it or something, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree, and I kind of would like to have somebody a little bigger, a little more physical. And I'm just throwing this up here. I know who this is. This is your boy Scott. Casey, because Chicken Dinner Road, that is actually the name of the road out here in the middle of nowhere.
Come on.
In good old Idaho. But I don't know. There's guys like Michael Wilson, Xavier Hutchinson. Those are a couple of the bigger guys, but we're talking like fourth, fifth, even maybe sixth round for some of these guys.
Right.
And so I joked with you guys the other day, like if today's NFL was 30 years ago, I could have played in the league because I was I am 5'10" and roughly 170, a decent spot. So I'm a little late to the party, I guess, or early.
Too early for the
But anyways, yeah. But so let's talk about these receivers. We kind of talked a little bit beforehand at the beginning of or before the show with Jackson Smith and Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison, Josh Downs. Those four, according to this list, were split into two tiers with Njigba and Flowers in the top tier, Addison Downs in the second one. But Casey, you have a different opinion.
I mean, I have Addison. I've loved Jordan Addison since last year. I mean, I guess it'd be 2 years ago now. I mean, he played in Pittsburgh, so not far away from where I currently live. So he was on the local TV a lot, and I kept seeing his name pop up. And what I just told you is he's one of those guys that he gets open. He knows how to get open. He's not super fast. He's not super big, but he's twitchy, and he knows how to make defensive backs turn their heads. And that's kind of like the only comparison that we made was Diggs. He knows how to get open, and that's what Josh Allen likes to throw to. Is just whoever's open, doesn't care who it is, where you are, because he can make any throw. So if we can just get another guy that knows how to get open and is going against a number 3 corner while we got Gabe and Diggs, I'm all for it. Throw him in the slot, let him work those zones, and watch him get down the seam when he can turn the safety's head around.
Yeah,
Right.
that was the one comparison I did here. As far as his route running, not necessarily saying he's the next Stephon Diggs or anything like that.
No.
But just his route running prowess is elite, is basically the point with that. And I've heard a lot of the same kind of commentary with Zay Flowers being that. And both of those guys, I know Addison's a 4.49 at the combine. I don't recall what Flowers is, but I think he's in the 4.4s as well, wasn't he?
4.42.
4.42. So if you can add that speed with some route running ability, those guys are going to get some separation and get open. So, Mike, what do you think though, as far as Njigba, Flowers, Addison, Downs? Do you have a preference of those 4 guys, or would you be happy if the Bills got one of those 4? We'll say within the first 2 rounds, because I don't think all 4 of them are first rounders.
I wouldn't be. I'd maybe like you guys were saying, like the first 2. Addison might be borderline. I mean, I'm fine with any of those guys, but I'm also fine with the Bills waiting and finding talent later in the draft of that position too. Nice
segue, because there are some of those guys, some big names, big names, but some popular names: Jaden Reed, Marvin Mims, Cedric Tillman, Mingo, Tank, Xavier Hutchinson, which I mentioned earlier. These are all guys that you can probably get in the 3rd, 4th, maybe even 5th round. We were talking pre-show, Casey, though. Cedric Tillman's kind of the guy, and I like Jalen Reed a lot too. Those 2 guys kind of stick out for me. Tillman,
I mean, you said he only played 4 games last year, but you you nail it on the head. I mean, he looked good. You backed it up with the numbers that he outpaced Jalen Hyatt in every stat there possibly could be in receiving. That's got to count for something. I mean, he played damn well against, I believe it was Alabama. They beat either Alabama or Georgia, and I mean, big game. They were wearing their all grays at night. But he just looks so good. I mean, I just think he's a pro receiver. I think he's one of the bigger bodies. So if the Bills do want to go that way, you know, maybe we can get him in the late second round, and we can use that first round pick on either, you know, like a Maisie Smith or, you know, Bijan Robinson, like everybody just wants and loves. You know, no, I'm just kidding. But you know, a position of a different need. If we could somehow get Tillman at 59, which I feel like that'd probably be a stretch.
But as far as first round, I mean, them guys might be out of reach. But I'd have to say JSN, because he's the bigger, you know, receiver, and he's still got some speed.
Yeah,
and I like what you were saying. You know, we more physicality, not duplicate talent. You know, sort of something else, like a bigger target. I've been saying that, so probably have to go with JSN, but it's tough. I don't know.
Yeah,
if we can do it.
Well, I mean, that first round, I mean, it's a crapshoot. It really is. We have no idea. What the Bills are going to do with that 27th pick. We all know that Bean has always talked about filling the needs in free agency so that they can get their wants in the draft. And it's widely known that probably the biggest need that we have is a middle linebacker, but there's not really a guy at the middle linebacker spot that a lot of people see as a first rounder. Really we've talked about, of course, Jack Campbell, and you love Trenton Simpson. We know that. And then the new one, to me anyways, because I've been starting to hear his name lately, is Drew Sanders, which it's funny. You go to ESPN.com and look at their prospects, and the player comparison for Sanders is Tremaine Edmonds. Obviously not the same size. He's 6'4", 235, so maybe he could put on a little bit more. I believe he ran a 4.52 40. So, and watching his highlights is pretty impressive.
He has that length, right?
Yeah, 6'4". Yeah, I mean, I think he's an inch shorter than Edmonds. I think Edmonds was 6'5". But I mean, you got to take these highlights with a kind of a grain of salt, though, because you can find highlights all over the place, right? But go out there and search lowlights. You're not going to find those. You know, I can go out here and play, you know, some pick a basketball game and get some highlights, but it might be 2 or 3 out of 70 plays. But
the fact that they're against 8-year-olds means nothing, though.
No, because you got to make sure the camera doesn't catch them, you know?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, just show me flying through the air, knocking, swatting shots and stuff.
Man, you really could have made it.
I could have, yeah.
I'd have put together your tape. It would have been good.
You weren't alive when I was in my 20s.
Yeah, in spirit. I was.
In spirit.
Well, maybe you were. How old are you, Mike, again?
33.
Oh, okay.
No, so.
Yeah, no, you were alive. You were like, you know, toddler.
That's creative. That's still creative then.
Okay, that'll work then. Casey probably was not born though. 27.
Yeah, I'm just a spring chicken, whatever.
Yeah,
I got more gray hair than I feel like both of you combined.
I don't know. I think
he's got more in his beard than you got here.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Don't make me take this hat off.
What about, so everybody's been kind of focusing on the draft because, you know, it's this month, got a few more weeks before it comes up. But there's still, as we've talked about, a few needs with the Bills roster. And right now, as far as the compensation pick, Buffalo does qualify for. So they have the number 3, or have an extra 3rd round pick for 2024. So they're probably not going to mess that up. But there are some edge defenders that we kind of wanted to talk about that are still out there. And I had them on the screen, but now they're gone. So, but
I got them written down.
I've got them right here. It's Frank Clark, Melvin Ingram, Jadeveon Clowney, Robert Quinn, Yannick Ngakoue, Bud Dupree, Leonard Floyd, Shaq Lawson, Justin Houston, and Jason Pierre-Paul.
And of that group, who do you want?
Personally, I'll give you 3. I'd like Frank Clark, Jadeveon Clowney, and Leonard Floyd. I mean, 2 years ago, Leonard Floyd had 18 and a half sacks. No, I had him on an independent independent defensive player fantasy league, and it was amazing. It was just one of those. He was projected to get 4 points a game. The dude was somehow getting me 12 because he got a sack almost every game. I think he still has some left in the tank. I mean, Frank Clark, we've seen the last couple of years with the Chiefs. I mean, he can be a difference maker. If he's not asked to be a 3-down guy, and obviously with the rotation that Sean McDermott runs, he wouldn't be. So I think keeping him fresh that way, I think it would really work for him. And Jadeveon Clowney, I mean, he's, I think, 30 years old now. He still has never done anything absolutely amazing in the NFL. Is he a scheme? I mean, is he a culture fit? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. He seems to want to get the bag from any team he goes to. I mean, the Browns threw it at him twice. But I mean, talent, he probably has the most and probably the most left in the tank. But my overall favorite would probably be Leonard Floyd.
What about you, Casey?
I just gave you my answer.
Mike, sorry.
I'm saying bring back Lawson because I don't know. I don't know. The deal didn't happen, but why not? Why can't that be a thing?
Because he's not as good a pass rusher as the others.
Yeah, true.
That's my only thing with him. He's more of a run guy.
Yeah, I guess I'm looking at it more financially that way. But I like Clowney. I always like Clowney, but like Case said, hasn't done. Maybe he hasn't, shown. I don't know everything that we could have thought he could have been, but I mean, any of them guys, really, whatever we can make it happen.
I mean, if Shaq Lawson was. I would argue and say that Epinesa was our third best end last year. I mean, he had a very quiet 6.5 sacks. That ties group.
Yeah.
But Shaq was definitely better than Boogie. I would rather have Shaq on this team over Boogie at this point in time, just from what I've seen over the last 2 years. But could we get that same production Shaq gave us from Leonard Floyd plus another 3-4 sacks? Probably. And it would probably be the same amount of money at this point in the offseason. There's nobody signing for mucho bucks anymore. Yes, OBJ is holding out. Yes, Zeke's holding out, those kind of guys. But I mean, at this point, do we really think they're going to really get the bag? I mean, OBJ probably, but Zeke, I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. Not for the price, not for his price point.
Yeah, Leonard Floyd on the cheap. Yeah, that's the one thing. I don't know really what these guys would go for.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Frank Clark is intriguing to me. He's only 29, so you would think that he probably has at least 2 or 3 more years left in him. But we definitely, I think, need somebody opposite Rousseau until Miller is healthy. Now, Miller has said that there's a chance he could be ready to go at the beginning of the season. And I know a lot of people – I wouldn't be shocked but I'd also know that there's a lot of people that think differently because they're like, well, look at this player, look at that player that took a year. Difference being he didn't fully tear it. Von Miller didn't. So that's the reason why the belief is that he could potentially be good to go at the beginning of the year, or at least within a few weeks. But still, I think if we could get somebody like Leonard Floyd, Frank Clark, one of these guys, Yannick Ngakoue, get him in there, and that could be a great rotational piece when Von Miller does come in. And I saw it might have been, I don't know, somebody on one of the podcasts from the Buffalo Rumblings group, but commented that in those situations in like third downs, you could kick Rousseau inside and then have Clark and Miller or whoever and Miller over there with because Miami went with the Hurricanes, they used him in that fashion inside, so it wouldn't be foreign to him. Mm-hmm. But I kind of like that idea. I mean, Frank Clark, Rousseau in the middle, and Miller coming off the edge as well. That sounds pretty formidable to me.
I mean, we've all played Madden. There's a lot of Madden references today. I move my edges into defensive three tech, so I get it. I completely understand. But real quick, I want to say something. It's really hard to overrate 18.5 sacks. All right, moving on.
Is that
He also
that's the
has
last
the
2
Bears.
years?
Yeah, and that was also this. He also has the Bears like single season record sacks record. So I'd say he's done all right in his career.
Yeah. Well,
I
and
just
I
want to
think
throw
with
out
the
there.
Rams, he was kind of not overrated, but overlooked
Yeah.
because Miller was there last year or 2 seasons ago, and then of course Aaron Donald. So
And they had Samson Ibukam. You know, they were kind of rotating guys too.
yeah,
I just want to say Epinesa, I think, held his own, most of the time.
Absolutely.
I don't
Absolutely.
feel like I'm that worried there.
he's going into his 4th year, I believe,
Yeah. So he's going to be a free agent after this year.
unless they pick up his 5th year, which
He was a second round pick.
was
That was
right.
he was our first pick that year because that was the first round pick we traded for Diggs.
Yeah, which I think that worked out.
Yeah, I mean that was a pretty good first round pick. But do you think that Epinesa gets a little bit more slandered than deserved because he was Bills Mafia remembers that he was essentially our first round pick that year?
I feel like sometimes Bills fans get latched onto an idea
I still think he's a
about
really
a player,
decent
and they
player
just
with great potential.
they just can't let it go. Like I talking about Dawson Knox earlier on Facebook on one of the Bills groups there, and talking about the Bills drafting a tight end in the first round as a possibility. And there's some people like, why would we want to do that? We got Dawson Knox, and some other people are like, well, because he can't catch a pass, he drops everything. But that wasn't really true last year. He had a couple,
He
but
made some amazing plays.
yeah. But then if you look on the flip side of it, it's like the negative part of it. Bills fans tend to latch onto because, like, okay, I'll use this one, Gabe Davis. His first 2 years, even after his rookie year, everybody's like, oh, this guy's aren't going to be our number 2. This guy's great. After the second year, why isn't he our number 2? He's going to blow the socks off everybody. He should be the number 2. He has 1 year where he has some unfortunate, untimely drops. Otherwise, the numbers weren't terrible.
And an
all
injury.
of a sudden, everybody wants him off the team, wants him traded, and an injury, and they're against him.
Let's try this one. How about we see how it goes if the players just have all of our support all the time, the players that are on the team.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, I feel like that's the best.
That's
case
not
scenario.
going to happen.
What
I
was
know,
that
but-
idea that the three of us were talking about doing with like unruly Mafia fans?
We're gonna send them somewhere.
Yeah, we're going to send them to some island and then blow up all the docks.
Blow up the island.
to
Yeah.
fake Bill's Mafia page.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
there's a lot of negativity out there, unfortunately. And I don't know if you guys saw it yesterday, but there was a tweet about Diggs being a very good number 2. Not sure what the ceiling is, but this and that. And then Stephon Diggs actually responded and just was like, he's a wide receiver 1. And that kind of caught fire. And then Davis responded, thank you, bro, love you, or something to that effect.
Yeah, I like that.
I did too. And that kind of like, and then people saw that and they're like, oh, this is actually kind of cool because this shows that Diggs is still on board. Like he never was off board.
Exactly.
That's the negative part that everybody loves to grab onto and they just don't let it go. It's like, just stop. Unless your name is Josh Allen, then you can do no wrong.
True.
In a lot of people's eyes, even though let's be honest, he was part of the problem last year.
Yep.
But
A big conversation that I've seen come off of those tweets is, well, if Diggs says he's wide receiver 1, then what would you guys think of Diggs switching to wide receiver 2 and putting Davis at the 1 position? And I was like, what are we talking about? I was like, first you guys wanted to trade him, then you wanted to cut him. All right, now let's just put him as number 1. Make up your minds or get on the goddamn island.
we have not purchased this island yet, but we will eventually. We're saving for it. One penny at a time.
My pennies are rolled, boys.
I got some crypto I've been working on. Maybe we can buy it.
Right.
Oh, man.
That hasn't worked well for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm doing okay. I mean, I can't quit my day job. Oh, wait, I don't have a day job. That's right.
So you can.
Yeah, I could. No, actually, I do have a job coming up, and like 3 to 4 weeks. Just don't have a start date yet. But
Congratulations, Papa Ron.
thanks. I'm going to go work out at a dam. I got a damn job.
Not
Nice.
nice. Hey, working outside, that's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, I'll be out in the woods, and because it's like out in the middle of nowhere outside of town. It's about 40 minutes away from my house.
Nice.
With the rivers and the trees and the animals, and yeah, it's going to be pretty cool, actually. Looking
Beautiful.
forward to it.
Yeah,
Congratulations. Very happy for you.
that's awesome.
Well, thank you.
Now you can start paying us back for your mortgage.
Yeah, whatever. I got a sugar mama for a wife. She's got me covered.
Yeah.
I feel you, brother.
Don't tell her I said that.
Oh, I feel you, brother.
Jeez.
Oh man. Okay, we're getting way off track here.
Yeah, we are.
So I had it. There it is. So we're gonna do this. So was it 2 weeks ago? I think 3 weeks ago. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, we did our first one, which was like a pre-free agency. Because once the free agency started, then we signed 2 new receivers, we signed 2 new offensive linemen, a running back,
Safety.
Poyer re-signed. So that completely changed what everybody was in it. Well, what a lot of people were thinking going into this draft. So I don't remember what we did that first draft, and I wish I had it. Do either one of you guys happen to have it there?
I don't. And if one of our listeners went back and found it, that would be absolutely amazing.
Well, I do remember that as we're going through, we executed a trade, and we forced the trade, not realizing what I was doing, and we just stole a draft pick from a team and didn't give them anything in return. So it wasn't a very good draft.
Well, it was the Colts. It's fine.
Yeah, it's all good. So we're gonna go ahead and start this. So we're gonna do the full 7 rounds. And
So it was 4 weeks ago, and I do have the video here.
Is that why it was playing?
Do you hear it?
We did,
Yeah.
yes.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So first round, right off the bat, we've got a trade offer. Our 27th and 205 for the 35th and 2024 second.
I would say no.
Crickets. Yeah.
I would say no.
I don't want to give away any picks. Well, I don't want any trades that are going to go towards next season.
No. Agreed.
I think, we only have 6 picks as it is. So, and then, the Chiefs. Now, see, this one's tempting.
I would probably take that. Because we're keeping the same amount of picks, but we're turning 205 into 95 just to drop back 4 spots.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was offered a trade like that in my first one today, a little earlier, and I passed up on it because I had 3 offers, and I wish I took it.
Roy has us an island, guys.
Long Island? There you go.
That's where we're standing the fake Bills fans.
Deal. All right.
All right. We're going to go ahead and accept this one because, I agree. I like that.
So who's making the first pick here, boys?
We're going to do this together. Oh, we got another one. Hey, look, Chiefs want to do it again.
No. No.
I mean, that's a haul.
I like 31.
Yeah, we need to.
That's not
we can't just give it away.
Yeah. So, okay. Come on.
Also,
Stop offering his stuff. All right. So here we are, pick 31. We get some opinions from in the comments as well. But we got Dalton Kincaid. Oh boy, here we go. Trenton Simpson.
Don't let me pick.
Zay Flowers, DeJuan Jones, Jahmyr Gibbs, Josh Downs, BJ Ojolari, Darnell Washington.
This is pretty good.
There's
This
some guys here
in a few spots. Yeah.
I want to tackle. But
oh boy.
What do you?
I've been on board with Jones for a while.
I would love Kalijah Cansey. I mean, this is like dumb, unrealistic because he will not be here. But Kalijah Cansey is an absolute monster.
I'd rather have Mozzie Smith though, because he's Cansey's only 281. He's undersized.
Who was the last undersized defensive tackle to come out of Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I know. He's been compared to him only because they come from the same place and they're both undersized. But there's only one Aaron
But
Donald.
I've watched him play. He's freaking good. And like we all keep saying, we don't have any defensive tackles on the roster after this season. So if we can get another one in there this year to learn behind, maybe we do end up shipping Ed Oliver, and he ends up the starter, or he comes in and steps as the number 3 defensive tackle in the rotation, and he's paired with Jordan Phillips. Then I would love that. I think that would be the best. That would personally, that would be the pick for me.
And Casey, Mike.
Again.
I don't know why I keep doing
that.
Who
was
today.
Yours, Ronnie?
It's the beer. I want to tackle, but I'm not.
You like Jones? Because if you don't, I'd say I'd pick him.
DeJuan Jones.
Because everyone's hating on me for the Simpson thing. I'll give in. Honestly, I'd pick Simpson in a heartbeat. I've picked it in multiple drafts if he's there. Probably won't be. He probably won't be, especially at 32. I'd say go with Jones. Is that what you were saying?
We're at 31. I think we need to push Spencer Brown. I'm still confident. I still have faith, I'll say, in Spencer Brown because he played well his rookie year. And then similar to Davis, he had an early season injury with the back that kept him out of pretty much all of the offseason workouts, like everything. Preseason, I think he might have got in some play time in the third preseason game. Or no, I think he actually missed the first 2 weeks, didn't he?
Yeah.
With the injury?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was waiting for this.
Zay Flowers might not be there, right? Yeah, I will.
See, this one's tough actually because I can understand Zay Flowers. We still got Jack Campbell on here. Osiris Torrance is actually still available as an interior offensive lineman.
He was our first pick in our other draft.
I would say Jack Campbell or Elijah Cansey. I'm probably going to get outruled, so whatever you guys think.
2-1 wins.
Well, then Roy says Zay, so I mean that's 2-1 to 1. All right,
you guys rock
we're
paper
going
scissors.
DeJuan Jones.
All right.
Okay.
Now this draft is going to be a lot different than our first one, and I don't even know if I want to read off our other one.
It's probably not the world's best idea. No. Absolutely not.
No, I don't like this one either. That's too far.
Yeah.
Between the 31st pick and then picking 74, it's too big a gap.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with that.
Because we got 2 picks in a row, or not in a row, but 2 close picks coming up.
Okay. There's no way that this is at all. Darnell Washington is still here with the 59th pick. Another tight end, Luke Musgrave. Siaki Ika. That one's a new one to me. Cody Mouch, who we've talked about. Derek Hall, an edge guy who's got some he's been actually mocked in the first round that I've seen earlier in the process. Okay, Roy's likes Siaki. So what do you guys think?
Give him the honorary pick.
I'm Darnell Washington.
But we're being realistic, right? Is he going to be?
Well, let's see. Siaki, let's take a look at this. 6'2", 335. Holy crap. Very definition of 2 on me, somebody's free. Routinely double teamed. Factory,
Interesting.
I like the size. I like it a lot, actually. You know, I say we listen to our commenter there, our listener, Roy, and
Wait a
we
minute.
go there. Big fatty one tech. That's what he said.
This is like where I start feeling comfortable looking at receivers, though. So if you're going to ask me, I would be between Rice and Mims. But, hey, I like the sounds of this guy.
Yeah.
So that's
what do you think,
go with
Casey?
Let's go with it.
Oh, you already said Washington.
I want Washington. This is where I think is the sweet spot to take the tight end. And I think Washington has the highest upside of the tight ends in the draft, like overall. I think he could be the best. I don't think he is the best right now, but I think he could definitely. I mean,
You-
he has every single attribute known to man that you need to be a tight end.
I did a full first round mock draft for Fansided this past week, and I was reading up on Darnell Washington, going through his profiles and scouting reports and all of that. And there was a name that popped up that some scouts are comparing him to. It's a former Bills tight end turned left tackle, and is probably going to be a Hall of Fame left tackle. Jason Peters.
Really?
Yeah. And I saw that and I was like, oh, that's interesting. and I love Dawkins, don't get me wrong, but I mean, we're going to need a left tackle at some point. Maybe he could kick out to right tackle in a couple of years and he puts on some weight. I think Richard Rush also says Washington.
Are we being realistic though?
Mims. I think if Washington's there at 59, I think Buffalo takes him. I do.
Yeah,
Because
you
the
think he'd
value
be
is there. Huh?
Do you really think he'd be there?
I don't know. But he is on our draft, so we'll
Guess
go
we
with that
got
one.
him.
All right, where are we going here? There goes Mims. There goes Laporta. That's a big name. Okay, it's going too fast. I can't read them
Jordan
all.
Battle.
No, there's
Nah.
For 2024, yeah, I just
Counter.
no.
no, I'm gonna reject it. Moving on.
All right.
All right. Owen Papoa,
Papo.
linebacker. Papoa, Ivan Pace Jr., Warren McClendon, Joe Tipman. There's A.T. Perry.
Love it. I absolutely love it.
Really wish we didn't already take
Matt?
a tackle.
Yeah, Matthew Bergeron.
McClendon.
Bergeron.
I picked McClendon earlier, but Bergeron, yeah. You know, we love Cuse over here.
I would say A.T. Perry or Bergeron. Those would be my pick. Even though we already took a tackle, I just think the ceiling is too high for Bergeron.
I love the Perry pick. I want to see it happen.
I would love A.T. Perry. Either one of them.
All right.
But what's our next pick after this one?
It was quick, isn't it?
So it'd be a gamble skipping him now.
130?
Yeah, we won't.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh, yeah, none of these guys are going to be here.
No.
So we got to get one or the other now, and then we miss out on the other one. I
A.T.
think
Perry.
Perry.
Yeah, we
I'm
already
thinking
picked a
Perry
tackle.
because, yeah.
I love it. Go Bills.
Go Bills,
All
Dogsley.
right. A.T. Perry it is.
Look at that.
And-
A.T. Perry and him have two.
Oh,
of the
we
same
did have
initials.
them
Go get Bergeron.
Yeah.
Oh
I think
my
for the value,
God.
you got to grab Bergeron. Even though we've already took another one.
Absolutely, because
Yeah,
one
do
of them kicks inside, man.
You should have picked Sean Tucker.
We ain't picking no running backs in this draft.
There he goes. Oh, there might be one.
Mingo. Oh, damn it. We already took one.
I mean,
All right.
we could get another one, but let's see. We've got there's a safety here. Ronnie Hickman from Ohio State.
Jamie Robinson.
Robinson.
Jamie Robinson.
Tajay Spears, if you really want a running back. Moro Ajomo, another defensive tackle. I wish you could see who we already took.
Don't forget we have pick 137 and then like the second or third pick in
We picked,
the next round. It's like
Siaki,
130, 137.
The D tag.
Yeah.
So
137 and then 2 something, I think. But
yeah, 205.
yeah, it's a ways down. So
Yeah.
205 and
All right.
223.
So what are we doing here? What do you guys feel like we need a running back, or you're good with the 3 that we got? I know, Casey, you said before you think that we still draft one. Do you think it would be now at the 130 range?
No, I think it'd be later.
Only because Sean Tucker's gone. He's saying that.
Yep.
My vote would be Hickman, Ronnie Hickman.
See, I'm team Jamie Robinson. Between those two.
So Mike, it's up to you.
I want to hear you two argue it out.
I love free in Florida State safeties, man. I mean, look at the track record behind it. I love it. There's schools that just put out certain positions. LSU, DBU, wide receiver U. I mean, Florida State is free safety U. FSU, perfect.
What about
He's looking for
we-
JL Skinner, isn't he?
No, he's further down here, I think. No, because Roy brings up a point. We still do need a DT. I don't think we took one.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
that
Siaka. Siaka,
I don't think.
he's a DT.
I don't. Yeah, but we didn't take him. We took.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. He was our first.
We
he was
took
our first
Washington.
pick. No, I'll bet you a pie.
No, our first pick was DeJuan Jones.
we picked him. This is our
All right.
second pick.
No, our second pick was Darnell Washington.
I'm gonna pull it up now.
Yeah, I don't know how you can. There's like no way to tell. Well,
No,
I guess we
there's
can
I'd be
go
fine with
all the
another
way
D
back.
tackle at
Hold
this
on.
point.
Here we go. We just have to scroll all the way up here.
DeJuan
So there's
Jones.
DeJuan
What?
Jones,
So we
at 31.
We didn't take Ika.
No, and then 59 was Darnell Washington.
Oh, wow. I thought we picked him.
Me
See, I told
too.
you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, but I thought we took
See,
Ika over.
yeah, I'm with you, Roy. I know what's
You changed
going
your
on.
mind.
Sorry, my counterparts don't, but
It's funny.
so
We really thought
yeah,
about it,
I think we need to go DT actually here. I
Yeah.
agree.
I don't think we need to yet. I feel like we can get Ojomo at 137.
Possibly. Where did he go?
Right,
Right
there.
there. You just
Just
said
had him.
There you go.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like about Ojomo is he's 289. He's decent size, but in the NFL that's still small. But
310.
okay, so Jonathan Mingo, who wanted a second wide receiver. But you guys want to go safety here?
I'm saying
And then
safety.
we can grab a Jomo with the next
There's
pick.
two of them staring
I'd be
right at
fine
us,
with that.
so we gotta.
Mike, you pick
Well,
between the two.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you guys aren't going to convince me with a good argument, I'm just going to pick the higher one.
At least say it's because he has the same name.
Yeah, well, I know that's why that's why you had to say why you liked yours, but I know Ronnie likes him because his name's Ronnie, so we're going to pick Ronnie.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah. And also that.
All right.
Yes, you can.
No, I'm really not
Shut
just because
up.
he's Ronnie, but he's higher on the list.
And now
All
we're
right,
going to
so
show
now-
him.
Yeah. And let me find him. I don't know who Jacqueline Roy. That one's new.
Click him,
Might have to
of course.
6'3", 305.
A little bit bigger boy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not reading all that. So, do we want to just go with the high-rated guy or the guy that we know?
Boy, that's a question in every single draft room, don't you think?
I'm saying the guy we know, but I'm surprised you guys aren't saying Tajay Spears right there.
I'm not for running
Not
back.
that that's what I think I should do. I'm surprised, or I would do, but
I'm fine with a Jomo.
I am
Yeah,
too.
me
We've
too.
drafted him a bunch of times in Marks.
we
I
have.
believe
Each of
we did
us.
in the first as well.
And
Yeah.
And I think even though we kind of like the bigger guys, we have a couple of guys that fit that bill. Jordan Phillips, Settle even, and Daquan Jones.
Yeah, Settle
So getting
definitely
somebody
isn't
that's-
small.
No. So if we get somebody that kind of fits more of the
Roy Collins likes Roy.
Yeah.
I say a Jomo.
Okay, let's just go with Jomo.
Thank God, get past the pick.
All right, and then we're gonna go way down.
All the
there
way
goes
to-
Jacqueline Ray at 146. There goes Rashawn Johnson.
No, I know. I should
I
have.
know you pick him a lot. Chandler Savala
I
just
have
went.
liked him
I
since
like
the
him.
combine.
Juice Scruggs is somebody who I've started to crush on a little bit in the draft process.
Holy
saw-
moly! Are we even picking again?
205. Oh, we didn't. No, we're
We
not.
traded it.
We
We're
traded it.
done.
Did. We're done.
It's all right though. Did we?
Well-
I'd say
well-
we upgraded.
But would you guys rather have have more picks higher in the draft like this?
Yes, exactly.
too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, so we basically made some deals, a couple of them to move us. Well, the one. So we got the same number of picks, but within the first 137, which I think is pretty good. I like this.
Yeah,
Me
I don't
too.
mind this one bit.
I like it a lot. We got 2 weapons for Josh. We got 2 guys to protect him, and 2 defensive guys
players.
that are waiting can learn behind the guys that we already have. You know, they're not being looked at to come in and start and play right away and play any significant roles.
And we also got a guy I really like, Perry, a guy Casey really likes,
Thank you for the
Bergeron,
update, Chris.
and Ronnie.
And we always got to have Ronnie in here.
Damn right.
So what do you guys think? I mean, would you guys would you be over the moon if this is what somehow magically happened in real life? I mean, no way in hell that we get Washington, Perry, and Bergeron in the second and third rounds, but
Yeah,
I'd be over the moon that we nailed it. I
mean, is there something you guys
each
would?
step that's going to build excitement for this season. I don't see nothing wrong with this draft.
I like this. I like it a lot. The only thing that I don't know, I've kind of gone back and forth on getting an edge rusher, another one. I know everybody wants an edge rusher, right? So that's the only thing. I kind of would like to have another one in this draft, but I love the fact that we got 2 tackles.
All right.
Me too.
Because I think between the 2 tackles and Brown, we're going to get a right tackle that can play at a high level. So
there's always going to be something that we say we could change about it, but overall, it's pretty solid, I think, so far.
Yeah, I agree.
The masses are going to be the one thing that they're going to be saying we're missing is linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And but the 3 of us, I feel like, are all convinced that the Bills are going to go more likely than not are going to go into the season with the 3 we have on roster now.
Yeah, it's already been said.
And if we do draft somebody, unless it's Jack Campbell being the most natural middle linebacker player, I think they're going to wait, and they'll end up taking somebody like Voshan Joseph and those kind of guys, taking them late in the 5th, 6th, 7th round. You know, I mean, sometimes you hit and you get a Matt Milano in the 5th, 6th, 7th round, but more often than not, you know, those are your special teams guys. So the only thing I would have changed would have been DeJuan Jones. I think I probably would have taken preferred Jack Campbell there over DeJuan Jones, but that's just in foresight after seeing Matthew Bergeron fall to the 4th round.
But who knows what the Bills are really going to do with that first pick?
Hell, Brandon Beane don't even know at this point.
Who's there?
Nobody knows until
curious.
It starts falling.
So Broderick Jones went way early at 11.
Yeah.
Before Skoronski, which isn't going to happen.
Hey, you never know. Remember when Cleveland Farrell was taken like number 4 by the Raiders?
Yeah.
You never know.
Isaiah Foskey.
That's
a new one. Kelly Ringo, Joey Porter Branch, Quentin Johnson went. Oh, he was almost there for us.
That would have been
Smith.
He was there.
Anton Harrison.
Again, Nolan Smith is an edge rusher.
Yeah. We just missed out on Darnell Wright.
We could have.
I'm trying to find. There's Mozzie Smith. There's Trenton Simpson, Ojolari, Flowers. Where did so there's Drew Sanders, who was one of them that I'm starting to kind of. Cedric Tillman, I think that was actually early for him. I don't think he goes in the 2nd round.
I think he'll probably end up going late 2nd, which is why I think so? I would love the Bills to take him. You know, at 59. I would be perfectly fine with that. If we walk out of this draft with him as the only receiver we took at 59, I'd be fine with it.
Yeah. There's JL Skinner, my boy from Boise State, and then there's Campbell. So we just missed out on both of them. I wouldn't have taken Skinner in the 2nd round anyways.
Oh, Noah Sewell was
Would you take well, obviously you'd take Campbell over our pick Darnell Washington, right? If he was there. You think you would have picked him?
Jack Campbell?
Yeah.
I would really have a hard time doing that because I really, really, really want a top 10 offensive line unit. Like I've said this since the last game of the season that if they fix that offensive line, we were the number 2 offense in football a season ago. I don't care what it looked like. The numbers are the numbers. If you put a good offensive lineman or offensive line in front of Allen, top 10, even a top half of the league, because we were bottom 25 to 30.
Yeah.
You can't stop this offense, even with the weapons we have now. They would be, I think, number one offense in football. Like you think about a year under the belt with Shakir, a year under the belt with Cook. You've added Damian Harris, who I think is going to be a great pickup for Buffalo.
I think he's going to be the best signing that we've made this year. I think he's going to have maybe not like the biggest overall impact, but I think he's going to have like one of the most important impacts.
Yeah. And I agree.
True.
This is something that we got to remember this because the three of us
way too
get
seriously.
so stressed over doing this. We got to remember that we are literally doing this for fun, guys.
You're never going to be able to nail every single pick.
Yes, I will, Mike. Yeah. Yes, I will.
The podcast that I was on when I first started doing podcasting last year, we were an NFL podcast, so we did a first round mock, the two of us, right, a whole thing, and we did this whole competition, and I think like the first 6 or 7 picks, we were like, bam, 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 oh, we're so good at this, and then it just went to hell after that, like just completely. But last year was different because you didn't have any surefire. Well, I don't say surefire, but you didn't have any quarterbacks that you knew were going to go on the top. Now you do, but you just don't know where. So that completely just throws everything off. Like even though Bijan Robinson is widely considered the best prospect in this draft, he's not going to go until probably the teens, even early 20s, because of all these quarterbacks. And the way with the receivers, the way this league is now, everybody's looking for the next Jamar Chase. Everybody's looking for the next Justin Jefferson. So even though this class of receivers isn't necessarily considered, first-round material, you never know. Stephon Diggs was a 5th-round guy, so you never know what you're going to get. And because of the pass-happy league that we're in now, a lot of these receivers are going to go in the early part of the first round too. So it's just so up in the air. And I think I asked this question previously. The more stuff I see about the draft, the more I read about it, the more I hear about it, Bijan Robinson is very likely to be a late teens, early 20s selection. If he gets to the 20s, would you guys be okay if the Bills traded up to grab him?
Traded up? No.
Would I be okay? I don't think anything terrible is going to happen.
My heart rate would go to a very unsafe place if we traded up to get a running back in the first round.
Yeah, there's just a lot of people.
I mean, boss move right there at that point. That'd be like, we don't want to play against them, so we're taking them.
Yeah. I don't think
people call him a luxury pick for the Bills. In the first round, I don't see anything as a luxury pick. Nobody has a luxury. Everybody's getting better, and everybody needs to try to get better. Is running back? And Jim Kelly said it. They need to get Josh a star running back. I mean, Jim Kelly, he was my first jersey. He's I'm sorry, Josh, but he is my all-time favorite Bills player. I mean, Jim Kelly is what I grew up with. He's everything to me. I don't think they need one star running back. I think they need the production of a star running back, and I think that's what they can get out of the 3 running backs that they currently have that more likely than not will be active on game day.
That's why I just don't see that happening.
I don't see
so crazy,
and I don't want it to happen. Bijan to Philly at 10 would make the most sense in the world.
Yeah. Well, they lost Miles Sanders, so
yeah,
the heck not.
Exactly, and we saw how good they are at running.
Part of the reason why I bring this up. So when I did my first round mock the other day for Fansided, I was going through the picks. I wasn't really paying attention to necessarily who was left or whatever. I looked at the team. I looked at the values, and by the time I got to 26th pick and I realized Bijan Robinson was still on my draft board, I was like, whoa, okay. Maybe there is some merit to the fact that he could fall into the 20s just because I know I don't care what GMs say about best player available. That's not how they draft. I think there's a mix. There's definitely a mix there. Like with Buffalo, if we're picking 27th, if, CJ Stroud is there, we're not going to pick him. Obviously, we probably end up trading the pick, but the point being, if you don't need the player, especially if you're young in the position, you're not going to take a guy just because he's at the top of your draft board. You might drop down to your second or third guy, maybe even the fourth. If you're still not happy, then maybe you trade out of it. But I found that comment from Jim Kelly kind of interesting, actually. I mean, I don't blame him for saying that because he had Thurman Thomas. But he also had arguably the best offensive lineman in football at the time as well. I think that, to me, was more of the catalyst for that offense and that Bills team in the 90s than – and this is probably going to be blasphemy, but whatever, than Jim Kelly, Andre Reed, or Thurman Thomas were. Like, if plug in our offensive line from last year into that Bills 90s teams, do you think they go to any Super Bowls?
Yep.
I don't.
I do.
I don't.
With Andre Reed, Jim Kelly, I think they're going to Super. Maybe not 4 straight, but they're getting to at least 1. Because that's what having a great running back does. Well, he can cover up the issues with an offensive line.
But he can't run anywhere.
He can make his own holes. We saw Le'Veon Bell in Pittsburgh. His offensive line was trash, and he was hands down by far the best running back in football. And it was because he was so good and he had patience.
You have a hard time convincing me that their offensive line was trash. Pittsburgh's always got a good offensive line, at least decent. We were bottom like 25 to 30. We were so bad last year. I mean, even if you look at now, we said this before, PFF grades are not the end-all be-all, but you look at those scores, Deion Dawkins was not very good. Mitch Morris was not very good. Like, none of them were good based on those metrics, whatever metrics they use, and that's really all we have to go by, right? So I just we need that offensive line to be better than it was. And like I said, if they are even top half of the league, I don't think anybody stops this offense with the guys we have now.
Still want one more receiver. Just give me one more receiver, one more legitimate pass catching threat. That's all I want. Give me a third, like Shakir, Gabe Davis, Stephon Diggs, and then I want like in a stat like either a good young rookie, Jordan Addison, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Cedric Tillman. I don't want Trent Sherfield or Deontay Hardy to feel like they have to step in and have as big of a role. I want it to be more of like a concerted group effort this year because those two guys are on those 1-year deals. Or Sherfield isn't. I mean, and Hardy can be cut after this year. It's a very low dead
This is Davis's year
cover. But I would love to see, and get those 3 in there to compete, or those 4 in there to compete, a rookie and then Shakir and those 2 to compete for the spot next year. Have somebody to push Shakir for that spot. And don't forget, we had Gabe's gone after this year. So now we're going to be looking for Shakir to maybe fill that spot if we'll see. Can't extend him.
Don't count him out yet.
Yeah.
Money don't grow on trees, bro. Neither does cap space.
Here's the thing. And this is why I do ultimately think that we take a wide receiver, maybe even 2 in this draft, because of what you just said. He's on the last year of his contract. If he doesn't play well, we're not going to re-sign him. If he does play well, he's going to go get himself a $15 million contract.
We're not going to be able to afford him.
So there's a very real possibility that no matter what happens, we're going to lose him.
Yep.
So I do think they need to have some guys coming up and through the ranks or whatever, developing now as opposed to drafting them as a rookie, because rookies normally take some time. Almost every position outside of maybe running back, rookies generally take some time to develop. There's only one Justin Jefferson in the world, right? I mean, you're not going to hit like that. It's more likely these days, I think, but still. So maybe Shakir moves into that number 2 spot if he has that kind of a year this year that shows that he can do that and carry that load. And then maybe one of the 2 new guys in the receiving room step in as the slot. I don't know. I don't want to think about 2024 right now.
No, let's get through this draft first, and then we can start talking about the season.
But we all love the Perry pick, right? Can we agree we can hang out a little bit and we don't have to go receiver right away?
A.T. Perry.
Yeah, I mean, if we could get A.T. Perry in the 3rd or 4th and whatever we ended up getting him, that'd be great. Yeah, we got him in the 3rd at 91.
I'd love it.
You guys realize that we have a live show when the draft starts, right?
That's what I've said. I said it last week. I said we're going to have to go all out and do something wild for it.
Well, I really wish we were going to be live when Buffalo picks, but we're probably not going to be.
No,
I
because
don't
they're gonna trade back from 27 and make me stay up all night just to see that happen and get really upset that I'm gonna.
They're going to trade back from 27 to 32, and you make you have to wait.
And then they'll somehow trade back again, and I'll have to sue Brandon Bean for lack of sleep.
Good luck.
Oh yeah, no kidding. All right, man. I think we're at time, so we're gonna get on out of here. Appreciate everybody in the comment section helping us out with this draft.
Thanks
And
everyone watching.
until next week, go Bills.
Go Bills.
Bo Gills.